everyone, my name is Kelsey and this is Igniting Insight. This is your weekly reading for water signs, that is Capricorn, Scorpio, and Pisces for Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. So this is a general reading for anyone that resonates strongly with water energy. It's not going to be for everyone, but you should know within the next couple minutes whether or not the message is for you. These readings are not date specific, so whenever you're landing here is when it probably is meant for you. My purpose here as a reader is to be a vessel for spirit to bring you messages when they're needed. I was doing readings for all astrological signs every week for a couple weeks when I started, and that was just too much for my energy, and I realized that spirit has a way to get the message to you when it's needed, and all I need to do is to have some sort of categorization in order for them to come through. So that is why they are now by element instead of by sign. And the other thing I just want to start with is that I am an intuitive reader, so the messages come through based on imagery and just internal messages that I receive from spirit. So a lot of times I just go for what I see rather than what the dictionary definition of whatever card is. I am starting out this reading getting a feel for your energy, what you're coming across as with the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle. And I did put the guidebook here because sometimes I'm intuitively guided to look up the definition. So that's how it works sometimes. So I just have it here. Spirit wanted me to have it on hand, so we might get in it, we might not. I'm going to get into your specific situation as well as some of your challenges and your strengths with just the traditional tarot, and then I'm going to pull another animal card to get the outcome. Who will you be after this week, after you do the work that we're talking about this week? And then I'm going to pull a card from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle to get some guidance for healing. If you have any questions about decks that I use or anything else about the channel, put everything in the description box below so you can check that out. And I'll go ahead and get started. I hope that noise outside is not too loud for you. Sorry about that. Okay, what can we get for water signs for the week ahead, please? What can we get for water signs for the week ahead? How are they presenting themselves? And this can be how you're perceiving yourself. So how your self-perception, and also how others are perceiving you. The earthworm. This is a card I've come across before. I haven't used this deck too many times, and I remember it having an interesting definition, which I'm feeling like I'm going to look up, but I'm going to go ahead and get some intuitive messages first. So what I'm seeing is this kind of self-contained rainbow and this stark black and white outside. So it's kind of like you're curled up on yourself and you have this inner vision, this inner world that is bright and colorful, and yet your perception of the outside world is very dull and kind of neck and tie, black and white, kind of boring. I'm getting but you're also kind of like tied in a knot with yourself. So, and you're coming across as earth energy. I'm getting that you're feeling the need to ground, but a lot of like inner turmoil, a lot of inner kind of conflict. And I'm gonna look up the definition of the card too, to just get some further insight. That's the intuitive message for this, but let's see what the book has to say. I'm just feeling called to look at this for you. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. Okay, so that is what I was getting. This inner vision you have it, but you're not wanting to share it, maybe because you kind of feel jaded about the world. The world's looking just not so pretty to you. I'm just going to read this for you for whoever needs to hear this message. We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. When in balance, this energy is earnest, intelligent, and valuable. When out of balance, it's self-conscious and apprehensive. And the guidance to bring it into balance are to speak up and risk embarrassment. So I think this message is really important because I know both sides of this feeling so well myself. This feeling of it's imposter syndrome. When you enter a new field or a new sphere, a new community of people that seem to know more than you do or have just had more experience than you, maybe have greater wisdom, insight, understanding, knowledge, what have you, it's easy to get the sense of imposter syndrome, like I shouldn't be here. Sometimes that's because we're really just beginners and we're really new and we're just learning, and that's totally fine. Nobody is expecting you, and you shouldn't be expected to know everything from the outset of a new project or a new experience or a new form of work. But sometimes we can feel like a beginner, and even though we're really not. So what I was getting as I was reading that message to you is sometimes we feel like an imposter because we don't realize the value that we have. We all have inherent value as humans, and a lot of this value comes from our experience. We all have a unique set of experiences that gives us a completely unique perspective, and we're the only person that can offer that perspective to a situation, scenario, or problem. So even if you've never done this kind of work before, or you've never been in this kind of situation or this kind of community, or you're starting something that you don't feel like you know a lot about, fall back on your experience and this inner knowing, this inner world. This inner world encompasses all of your experiences. That's what I'm seeing here with this card, with all this rainbow of colors in there. So know that even if you are new, or even if you aren't and you feel like you're new and you feel like you don't know as much as you should, know that you have enough just from living your life, just from having your experience of your life. That is enough. That gives you a lot of insight. That gives you a lot of information about, how to deal with people, how to move through situations and challenges. All of this, we just learn from experience. So you always have something valuable to offer, even if you're feeling brand new. Okay. Oh my gosh, half the deck falls on the floor. I'm gonna get some cards for your situation. Let me grab all of those cards just a second. Goodness, okay. So what can we get for the water signs for their situation this week? What can we get for the water signs? These little earthworms with all their budding potential and inner wisdom. We're just waiting to come forward. 10 of Cups. I'm not taking reversals for this reading, and if anyone's wondering, and I realize you can't really see them down here. I'm going to try to put a picture in all of my readings so you can see the cards, but I'll also hold them up for you. 2 of Swords and the Tower, 10 of Cups, the Tower, and 2 of Swords. Let's just go, well, let's just pull them all because we can go through it a little faster that way. So we're gonna pull 3 cards for your challenges. We have 5 of of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Six of Swords. So in these readings, I'm trying to hone in on the specific situation that I'm speaking to as much as possible, but I can only get so many details when I don't get to talk to you. This week I've really been realizing that I want to do more personal readings because I want to, you know, kind of do more like one-on-one and understand your situation and be able to speak more specifically, but that was just a side note while I was pulling cards. Okay, so we got, for your situation, Ten of Cups, the Tower, Two of Swords. So they came out in a really interesting order too. This being the first card. So completion, abundance, emotional fulfillment with the Ten of Cups, community, feeling nurtured, feeling at home, family, partnerships, family. All of this here is represented in the Ten of Cups. And then we have the Tower, which is about major transformation, something major falling apart, falling away, releasing, letting go, breaking down, so something new can come in. And then we have the Two of Swords, which is about indecision and a stalemate, being kind of frozen in time, in contemplation, guarded. So I can see this situation unfolding in a couple ways. I really hope that noise is not too loud for you. I'm so sorry about that. Either this is what you're going for, this is what you're looking for, or you feel like you found it. You feel like you've got some really deep emotional connection, some kind of emotional reward. Maybe you've just started a new relationship where your relationship has gained new depth, or a birth in the family. Something along those lines could have happened that actually is leading to some sort of Tower moment. Or it could be that you're desiring this so much, but you need to have a Tower moment in order for it to come through. And I think that that's more likely for a lot of you. Or just any, well, whoever's not resonating with having this Ten of Cups situation coming in already or being here already. And it can also be like you're having indecision about what this situation is going to be. Is it going to be breaking down, or is it going to be, you know, emotional fulfillment and happiness? But I feel like for these cards being the situation, we got like a lot of information about what's happening in the situation, but not actually what the situation is. So I'm going to pull a clarifier and ask Spirit to give us a really direct message about what the situation is. What is the overall situation that the water signs are facing this week? Give us a concise message, please. What is the overall situation? Okay, Six of Cups. Nostalgia. Innocence, childhood. This is also my soulmate card. So I'm just gonna go ahead and yeah. This reading is not gonna be for everyone. This is dealing specifically with a soulmate connection, a relationship. This is a powerful connection that is rather new, undeveloped with the earthworm. And now the message is coming together now here. So bear with me while I, 15 minutes in, actually grasp the message. But this is how it comes, Spirit, they just, it's going to come through when it comes through. So in this relationship, you're feeling guarded. You're feeling like you're not ready for the depth of this relationship. You're feeling like you're not ready. You're just a beginner in the world of love, in the world of partnerships, in the world of this kind of love, this depth of love. You have this whole inner world, though, that you're keeping to yourself right now. You haven't shared this with your partner because of this feeling of being a beginner, could be even some unworthiness feelings. And that's what needs to get, to die, essentially. You are meant to have this kind of blissful, I want to say perfect, innocent partnership, total fulfillment, total emotional fulfillment, abundance. And this really, it's a sacred connection, and it's a connection that you just feel at a soul level. Even if you don't understand it, you can feel it at a soul level. And this doubt, this unworthiness, this feeling like it's like you feel new, like you feel like you're too new, it's all too new, and you don't know what to do, and you're just holding this inner world in. That's what needs to come down. That is what needs to break down, all of that unworthiness, all of that fear, break down so that, you can have this new partnership come through. Right now, you're just kind of in this state of waiting, of being in a stalemate, meaning you're putting off the inevitable in a way, but there could be a very good reason for this. You're just waiting. You're just a little bit guarded. You can see she's blindfolded. Hopefully you can see she's blindfolded, but there's these two little fairy figures on either side, and they're looking towards the water. They've got her back. They're watching her back, literally, and, well, not her back, but they're watching behind her to protect her. So there's some, it's like this, very innocent, divine protection, even like fairy guide protection that you're receiving. You're also turning your back on your emotions right now, having all this water behind you, not wanting to look at the, wow, this is getting, this is coming through. I love it. See the mirroring of the mountain here. First of all, in the soulmate connection, you're not wanting to look at your soulmate as your divine mirror or as your mirror. A lot of times these deep connections scare us because they show us so much of ourselves. Your back is turned to this mirroring. Your back is also turned to the mountain that you need to climb in order to manifest the potential of this relationship. You're just waiting. You're just guarded, and you need to make a decision, but right now you're just waiting. Okay, so your challenges. Five of Swords, High Priestess, Six of Swords. Feeling attacked is what I get for this card, based on how these five swords are all pointing towards the dragonfly. So you're feeling attacked, distrustful, and you need to move on from something. Move on from disempowerment is what I'm hearing. The High Priestess being your challenge is very interesting, very, very interesting here. So, the High Priestess is all about, it's the It's the intuitive feminine. It's the balance between the dark and the light. It's kind of the dark feminine in a way, whereas it's more of that deep, ethereal, just very intuitive, very flowy, very like kind of ungrounded energy of the feminine, of the receptive, of the intuitive, the emotional. Deep knowledge here with the scroll imagery. And just the balance between light and dark, I always think is one of the most important symbols in the balance of emotion. Also the balance of spiritual and physical. So there's a lot that needs to be acknowledged and come into balance here with this card. Your intuition and your feminine side needs to be acknowledged and utilized. And just this integration work is a big challenge for you, this integration of the dark and the light. Now, as far as the Six of Swords here and what you're needing to move away from, I mean, this is air on water. This is, the swords is air, so mind treading over water. There's, you know, water. So, what I feel is you're needing to move on mentally and emotionally as an integrated human into your future. Yeah. After you've got that integration, you're unable to move on because you're not integrated. And moving on can be away from something, which often this card exemplifies, but it can also speak to moving towards something. Moving away so that you can move towards something. Okay, so for your strengths, we have Four of Cups, Ace of Cups, Seven of Cups. So water signs, your water energy, your emotions are serving you this week for sure. All of these cups in your strengths area. But we have some interesting differences here. So Four of Cups, it's kind of about disappointment. It's about being so caught up in the past and what has been and what you currently feel that you possess and not seeing the magic potential. This little boy is caught up in his cups. He doesn't see this unicorn. And she is equally caught up in her own mind. But the waters in this card are flowing. So, being that it's your strength, I'm getting that you have the ability to channel your focus. And you need to use that ability to focus on the positive. This is a card about kind of focusing on the negative, but to me it's speaking to your ability to focus at all, focus in general. Put your focus intentionally where you want it to go. So I advise you to focus more on this abundance that you have, this Ace of Cups energy, this emotional abundance, overflowing, cup overflowing, just being totally full up, totally fulfilled, and letting that overflow onto the people around you in your life, letting your spirit burst forth and your joy and your bliss and your happiness burst forth and spread out onto others, spreading your light from a cup that's full. So your strength is that you have the ability to change your perspective to your abundance, and you the choice is in your hands is what I'm getting for this. So your strength is that you have the ability to make sovereign choices in your life, especially coming to this soulmate relationship that you are being asked to embrace, to acknowledge, to move towards. The choice is in your hands is what I keep hearing. So that should be empowering. That shouldn't be, if it's scary, then you have work to do, and that's okay. That work is necessary. That work will help you feel ready to make the choice that you need to make, but a choice does need to be made, and it does need to be made by you in the situation. You are the one I feel that's holding back. Again, your earthworm with all this magic inside, being all tied up in a knot, unable to express it, you know, outwardly. Let this Tower moment happen. Release your self-doubt, release your feelings of unworthiness, and realize that you can make a choice and know the choice that you want to make. Know that you want this abundance, that you deserve this abundance, and that it's coming to you. It's your birthright. It's meant for you. It's here for you. It's not here to taunt you or to you know, it's not here to be dangled in front of your face just to be snatched away. It's here for you. You know, these kind of relationships don't come up that often, and I really felt the specific message come through, I think, at that 15-minute mark. So this is for someone specific, and I hope that the messages are coming through. Let's go ahead and find out how you'll be presenting after this work is finished. Whether it happens this week or however long the timeline takes you to get through this work. So basically it's going to be you releasing your feelings of unworthiness and really starting to take steps forward and make choices towards this relationship. Once you do that, what's going to be your energy? What can we get for the water signs, please? Nice, okay. Starfish. Back in your element of water. The star. All I'm getting is you're going to feel like a star. Some of you could actually be gaining some sort of fame from this. This soulmate relationship could bring notoriety, whether it's through joint mission work or whether it's through the person themselves and their connections. But whether it's you appear as a star, you know, objectively and to other people, whether or not that's true, that message resonates, you are going to feel like a star. You are going to feel like your potential is unlimited. Also pretty solid. And the starfish, it's kind of got this, you know, this solid, not solid, but this hard outer edge, and then underneath it's got all these tiny little legs. I don't know what they're really called, but these little legs that move it along so slowly, but it's all these like probably hundreds of legs, if not thousands, moving along, moving this one creature. So it's almost like you're gonna be in this place where you're gonna be so integrated that all of the little bits and pieces of you that sometimes go this way and that way and try to lead you astray and try to lead you down different paths and different rabbit holes, and you kind of feel all over the place, all of those are going to start working together, moving you towards where you want to go. Albeit slowly, but that's okay, because you're going to be moving and you're going to be a solid energy, a solid forward moving energy. You're going to, again, you're going to be in your water element. So in your element, more feeling like yourself, and just feeling like a star, just feeling like you are here to shine, and you will not be afraid to shine, because you deserve to shine. That's what this is all about. I also wanted to say, because I got this imagery. So, you know, if you've ever been to the beach or, you know, on a boat sometimes, or anywhere where there like is potentially a starfish and you see a starfish, it's like, oh my God, there's a starfish. Like I live by the Puget Sound, so Pacific Northwest, and there's a beach that I always would go to, and rarely would there be starfish, but if the tide was low enough, then there would be sometimes, and it's just always like, it's like the coolest thing to find at the beach, right? So it's like, you're gonna feel like people are gonna see you that way. Like, they're gonna see you as like, they're gonna see that you really have something with this. They're gonna see you in this relationship, and they're gonna feel inspired. That's what it's gonna inspire people, because that's how we feel when we see a starfish. It's like, and a little bit of magic even. We see a little magic in the starfish. So all of that you'll inspire when other people see you, and also feeling that for yourself, feeling that within yourself. So let's get a healing guidance. This is just going to be a message to help guide your healing efforts over the week ahead. So we're all constantly healing, right? This is our life's mission, to heal. And so this is just going to help direct your energy a little bit more specifically. Dynamic. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. I love this card. This speaks to a lot of different things that I've talked about in this reading. Firstly, I feel it speaks to what I was saying about the hundreds of little legs of the starfish all working together. And also this inner earthworm world that you're not yet ready to share, but that you should share, or that you are readying yourself to share. And having the understanding and the self-trust to make your choice. What I'm seeing in this card is that as you open yourself up to inner exploration, to perceiving all of these different layers that go into any sort of this kind of deep connection. For example, to just make it really clear for you, like this card, the Six of Cups, which was our clarifier, and I said this is my soulmate card. This is also a card of nostalgia, and oftentimes I think of this card as the soulmate card because it speaks to this uncanny sense of familiarity we have with people that are soulmates. And I was saying that this is a romantic relationship. That's how it was, the message was coming in, but it could be non-romantic. There's a lot of different kinds of soulmates that we have. And so it could be a situation where you're maybe afraid to go towards a friendship because it feels so different and intimidating, and there's so much depth to it without you really even like necessarily connecting through communication that much. But this is saying that if you go and explore all of those different aspects, why does this person seem so familiar to me? Why am I wanting to not make a choice? What do I need to integrate? All of these kinds of questions can lead us down so many different avenues that we feel like our experience and our, just our reality is so fragmented sometimes. It's like we're dealing with this issue and we go down this thought train to try to understand that, but then we have this other issue and they don't seem to like come together. I hope I'm making sense here, but I'm getting that with the starfish, with all those little legs all moving together in synchronicity to move the starfish along. And so much imagery. When you look, if you ever have had the chance to see a starfish from underneath, if you picked one up and looked underneath, those legs go all over the place. They're like this, and it's like, you're like, how can you use all those tiny little legs to actually move yourself? They seem like they're going in random directions. So it seems like my thoughts and my ideas and my experience and my questions, all of these questions, seems like they're leading me all over the place. But what this card is saying is they actually all come together into a whole reality, and that our reality is made up of different elements. If we can choose to harmonize ourselves, choose to find harmony within ourselves, choose to explore those layers and all the dynamics within us, then we can find our wholeness and find grace and great joy, it says. I'm just going to let you look at this card again because the imagery is going to help bring the message home. Staring at sacred geometry can be healing. So I'm just going to give that to you for a little minute. Okay. I'm going to close out the reading there. Powerful reading for you water signs this week. I hope it was helpful. I hope it resonated with some of you. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I should be here just about every week doing these readings by element. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I've switched up my routine so that I can also open up time and space for other kinds of videos, twin flame readings, more general readings, guidance. I want to do spiritual story time where I talk about some of my journey, and I definitely want to do more astrology content, at least starting with new moon, full moon reports, so you can definitely expect that to be coming out in the next few weeks and months. So I'd love to see you back here on the channel soon. I'm wishing you all the best for the week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste.